This is Tuesday, May the 4th. This is World History. Well, Joseph Stalin had died at the very end of the Korean War. And after several years, the Politburo is going to install Nikita Khrushchev as the General Secretary and the political leader of the Soviet Union. Now, Khrushchev is going to be very media savvy, and he's going to make several trips before the camera. Here is a short piece on Nikita Khrushchev. Khrushchev believed that the future of communism was technology. Khrushchev predicted that the communist countries would surpass the West in both space and education. The late 1950s is the beginning of the space race. Now, in late 1950, Khrushchev is going to go to the United States, and he's going to talk about the superiority of the Soviet Union when it comes to education and technology. To prove his point, in 1957, the Soviet Union is going to launch Sputnik. Sputnik is the first artificially made satellite put into outer space by man. Here is a brief look at Sputnik. In 1961, the Soviet Union will launch Yuri Gagarin into outer space. He will complete one orbit of the Earth, and now the Soviets have not only put a satellite into outer space first, but they put a man into outer space first. President Kennedy announces that the U.S. will be the first nation to put a man on the moon. And now the United States has accepted the gauntlet of Khrushchev. Here's a video about Kennedy's speech and its impact on America. At the same time the Warsaw Pact was being created, the United States is going to create NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Now, their job was to prevent the Warsaw Pact from expanding. We were very concerned about communism in the 1950s. The United States is going to launch committees. They are to look for communists in our United States government. We believe that there are communist spies everywhere, and the FBI is soon going to find a communist spy. This is Rudolf Abel. Rudolf Abel is a Russian who had come to the United States. He had changed his name, and he is going to be a captured spy. We are going to hold on to him until he could be traded for an American spy. Now, so many Americans were accused of being communist spies. They saw their lives being ruined. This is Dalton Trumbo. Dalton Trumbo was a noted screenwriter of the day. Dalton Trumbo was the leader of what became known as the Hollywood 10. 10 Hollywood actors, screenwriters, directors who were all accused of being communists, who all had their lives ruined. The hunt for communism is going to spread throughout the world. Now, in 1950, French Indochina is going to be taken over by the communists. Now, French Indochina is going to be broken into Laos, Cambodia, but the most populous area is Vietnam. Vietnam was divided into two parts: North Vietnam, which was predominantly communist, and South Vietnam, which was predominantly free. The UN called for the Vietnamese people to have free elections. Now, if free elections were held, the communists are going to win because more people live in the north and live in the south. The US will ask for the elections to be put off. In 1958, the Eisenhower administration will make a deal with the leader of South Vietnam. The United States will send US troops to show South Vietnamese troops how to use weapons of war. In time, our soldiers will stay in Vietnam, and they will lead South Vietnamese soldiers against a group of men called the Viet Cong. Now, Viet Cong are South Vietnamese citizens who back the communists and are willing to fight. The Viet Cong will become stronger and stronger as the 50s turn into the 60s. The leader of Vietnam was no Dien Diem. Now, Diem was Catholic, which is a minority religion in Vietnam. But Diem is going to show favoritisms to Catholics over the Buddhists. The Buddhists are going to rebel. Many of the Buddhists are going to be sent to prison and cruelly treated. During the Kennedy administration, the United States was informed of a coup. That's an overthrow of Diem. The United States did nothing, and Diem and his brother were killed. The South Vietnamese military will take over. They immediately will ask for more soldiers to help them out. This is about the time that Kennedy himself was assassinated. It was during the Kennedy administration that the United States learned of missiles being placed in Cuba. The Soviet Union would be able to strike anywhere in the United States in just a matter of moments. This became known as the Cuban Missile Crisis. Now, the United States will place an embargo on Cuba. We will not allow the Soviet Union to bring in any new missiles, and we will request the Soviet Union to remove the missiles that are already there. Now, months later, the United States will remove missiles from Turkey. Now, this is the second time where we're going to have interaction between the communists and the democratic people. Kennedy and Khrushchev, all over Cuba. Here's more about the Cuban Missile Crisis. Nikita Khrushchev is going to lose political power. The power of the Soviet Union will turn to this man here, Leonid Brezhnev. And Brezhnev will come to power when Lyndon Johnson becomes president. I think this would probably be a pretty good time for us to stop. Tomorrow we're going to look at Vietnam.